Union City. Okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
But they had 12 wins going in.
Yeah, you would think Coalfield would have had one more than that. They had some really good teams over the years.
Yeah, we've had some teams I was on. We thought we were good, boy. Whew, we made a trip to South Pittsburgh one time. Whew, Lord. That's a night you want to just bury and never think about again.
Never been there.
It's,
I heard that.
I'd rather go there than Greenback, though.
Well, I think Greenback's neat. All get out.
No, you ain't got nobody backed up in a truck behind you.
Well, I've been on the sidelines, so I know how that part is.
Switching over to some other college sports news, we got some Lady Ball basketball news. They defeated East Tennessee State on Tuesday, taking a 67-50 victory. Also, UT men's basketball have yet to play. I was looking at the top 25, and Tennessee is one of, maybe there's another team in there that hasn't played a game yet. Of course, the Vols happen to be quarantined a little bit, contact tracing.
They're loaded this year.
Coach Barnes had it. I think it may be a player. I'm not sure on that, but they had some good games they had to cancel. Gonzaga, that was a big matchup. I think Notre Dame, they had them lined up. And
Kansas?
Well, Kansas, I think, is later on. I think it's still on in January.
Well, since we're talking about basketball, I got those out there. Kentucky got beat.
Yeah, Kentucky lost to Kansas, wasn't it? No, it was Richmond.
They lost to us.
They lost to Richmond first and Kansas, Kansas last night.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was talking about the Richmond game, yeah. Kentucky got upset big time.
Richmond's not, they're pretty good mid-major, aren't they, David?
Yes. I heard Calipari, was it last night or something? I believe it was last night. He said he was telling the fans, don't get on these kids. All I could hear was schedule and play everybody. Now we're playing everybody. Get on me. Don't get on these young kids because a lot of them are freshmen. And he's scheduled a really tough schedule.
Right.
And he's got a really young basketball team, and it's going to take a while for them to start playing together. So, man, it's an impressive roster if you just look at how big they are.
Well, they're going to get better.
They're going to get better. Yeah.
And playing a tough roster or playing a tough schedule will make them even better.
Make them even better.
Kentucky seems every year, they got those freshmen coming in and seem like they're always young and they always play a tough schedule. So
yeah, they play a tough schedule. And the Gonzaga, man, they just keep finding these players out there. I mean, they're just, I don't know where they come from.
What are they, the SMU of the 80s?
I don't know, they might be, but, they always have a really good regular season. I think the coach there, I don't think they've ever won a national championship, but they're always right. They're right there in the picture. They're right there in the picture.
They got to the championship a few years ago, I believe. I can't remember who defeated them.
Was it North Carolina?
I think you're right.
I'm thinking
Roy Williams.
Yeah, I think Roy Williams and them did. I might be wrong on that, but I'm thinking that, though.
All right, just talking about UT football. We won't get into the Florida game just yet, but some news for UT. The Vols had to dismiss a football player, a pretty important starter, a linebacker, Kevon Bennett, dismissed. That's some serious charges right there, felony gun and drug charges.
Well, I mean,
it's not, you always hate to hear that.
That's two things that just don't go together, drugs and guns.
Nope.
But, yeah, it's not good, so...
we've lost some commits, too. We've had a couple decommit, one 5-star and one 4-star, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, the 5-star Terrence Lewis, I believe.
Is he the linebacker?
Uh-huh. Middle linebacker. He's opened it back. His recruiting back up. We're a couple weeks away from signing day, I believe.
Yeah, the early signing period's coming up sometime December, isn't it? Comes up sometime December. Well, I think kids are probably looking at all the talk right now about Tennessee football guys and the uncertainty with Pruitt. I don't think nobody knows. I keep saying I don't think they can afford to fire him.
I don't think they can, but not this year.
What do you think? Do you think they'll fire him, John?
My house too big.
Well, if they were to lose all their games and the rest of them to go 2-8, there's a possibility. right there.
Well, I mean, it goes to show you in the budget, the money's not there. They asked the entire coaching staff to take a pay cut. T. Martin and Jay Graham were the only two that agreed to do it. The rest of them said, no way, I'm keeping my money. I mean, that right there ought to tell you that the university's not got the money to just start paying buyouts. They're still paying Butch Jones.
Yeah, he's not finished paid that yet.
I think it'd be $13 million, the buyout for Pruitt, or I think that's what they would owe him. But they wouldn't have to pay that all at once. They could pay it. But I think they got deep pockets over at Tennessee, and if they wanted to flush him out, I think money wouldn't be no factor. I mean,
I'd just like to know what happened from the end of last year. I mean, I know COVID did, but I'd like to know on a fairly good high last year.
Well, 6 straight wins, wasn't it?
And then beat a really good, we're finding out now, a really good Indiana team. So what happened to Tennessee from the end of the bowl game last year to now, other than COVID, and I understand, but if you look at Alabama and you look at Florida and you look at Georgia and, maybe Texas A&M and Auburn, they're not. I mean, sure, they've all worked around COVID, but it seems like it's more of an excuse at Tennessee than it is anywhere. Or maybe excuse is not the right word. Maybe it seems like it's been more difficult at Tennessee than it's been anyplace else, talking about getting Bailey time and reps in early workouts because I think he was quarantined for some. So I don't understand how Tennessee's got so far behind. I mean, I'm at a loss.
Well, I feel like, and this is just my opinion, I think Jeremy Pruitt's been too loyal to Garantano.
He's a guy you'd want to, as far as talking on just as being as a player and him being a coach, he's a guy that I'd want to play for just because of what you said.
Right.
He's loyal to you.
He's loyal
to his kids. I mean, if he tells you he's going to stand behind you,
he stands behind.
behind you.
Obviously, the wheels fell off since the second half of Georgia.
But
they played so good in the first half of that Georgia game.
And I know John's a big Tennessee fan, just like I am, and you're not. But do you think Johnny's made the right decision in not playing Harrison Bailey and getting him beat up like JG did to get beat up and being gunshot? Do you think it's been the right decision?
No, I think he should have put Bailey in. I've heard talk maybe after the Kentucky game going up against Alabama. Maybe not that game. I think you talked about it, and Eric as well said that wouldn't be good. But maybe the Arkansas game, bring him in, and he had opportunities, against Auburn. Who else have we played?
The Auburn game, they had one through an interception, pick 6 from the 100 yards. I mean, they were going in to win that game.
I would have liked to seen Bailey play, but I trust Pruitt. I think, he's always said he's going to play his best player that gives him the best chance to win. And I think you've seen that this year, with Maurer and Strout. Strout was not in very long, but Maurer didn't look very well. He wasn't healthy this year, this hamstring. And Bailey, they said he wasn't really ready. Had, some COVID issues in preseason, didn't get a lot of reps, and he just bring him along slow. And I trust Pruitt on that. I think last year that proved out to what he said because, he benched Garantano, but then he brought him back in. So he played well off the bench, and, he didn't have a really good bowl game last year, but he's probably their best option. But I would like to see Bailey play more earlier in the game instead of just putting him in, when the game is out of reach.
And this is just something to throw out. If you do play Bailey early, let's say you play him after the Kentucky loss, are you telling the rest of the team that, we're going to start rebuilding for next year? We're sort of throwing the towel in, maybe? Is that the mentality? I mean, that's how I take it, that we're going to start playing young kids and we'll just take our lickings this year and we'll be ready for next year.
Well, nobody knows, what Bailey could do if he got in there and got a chance to, start. And now there's talk that he's going to start against Florida, and you're going to throw him in against the Gators. If you're going to do that, you should have done it earlier in the year. But you either way, I think it's.
You couldn't pick a softer defense to throw him out there against. We're terrible on defense.
Yeah, but I don't know how people right now are really thinking that Tennessee's going to run away with. If you listen to a lot of people talk, they think Tennessee's going to run, that their run game is going to be the difference Saturday, and that Tennessee's actually going to win this football game. I mean, I'm not. You might be seeing it. I'm not seeing it. I know you're not seeing it.
I think it's
you're a
I
Florida fan.
think they've got a chance to be competitive because our defense is horrible, and we don't know.
Well,
We don't know what Harrison Bailey's going to do. These kids out here look great in practice. You throw them in the game, nerves fall all to pieces.
yeah.
All right, there's kids out there. They don't have the best practice ethic. You put the lights on them, and they're superstars. We haven't seen Harrison Bailey's a 5-star athlete. We haven't seen him with the spotlight on him.
Well, they say he's a 5-star athlete. I don't believe in I don't believe in the star system myself. Because you got to look at the competition some of these kids are playing against. Is it all? If you're a 5-star, you're playing 5-star football. That's how I look at it. I mean, it's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But I don't know about Bailey. Here's the thing that bothers me about Bailey. He wasn't even recruited by Georgia. The offensive coordinator that's at Tennessee now didn't recruit him at Georgia. He was not even on. He was not recruited. He didn't recruit. Chaney didn't recruit him at Tennessee. Pruitt did. So the offensive coordinator, which the guy should be. But Chaney didn't recruit him. Pruitt did. That to me is a red flag. So I wonder.
Georgia's they've been recruiting. They've got some highly rated quarterbacks on their roster. Now they got some younger players. Plus, you had the quarterback transfer to Ohio State. That was probably before Bailey would have came in. Then you had the transfer from Wake Forest, who's opted out this year.
I would have liked to see Tennessee went out and got a JUCO player at quarterback, brought somebody
Probably
in.
need to do that for this next season.
And let Bailey sit back, redshirt him. He might have already lost the red shirt now. Let him sit back and watch, get some, learn the game, get ready, and then he'd be ready to go for 2 or 3 years there. That's just my thought. But Tennessee's never really done the JUCO thing a lot on at quarterback. I don't think. I don't know if they ever have really. They have on defense, I think, and maybe some receivers.
It's been a while. You go back to the 80s. Steve Alatorre, I remember him. I think he was a JUCO, but
Was he? I didn't know that. Was he?
I believe he was.
Wow. Okay, I learned something tonight. See, no matter how much age you learn something every day.
There's been some, before we take a break, let's talk about Vanderbilt made history with the first female to play in a Power 5 conference game. Sarah Fuller made history. She kicked off in the second half. I think that was her only appearance. What y'all's opinions on this? I've heard some negative stuff on this because of a girl's playing, and I've heard that's great.
Man, if she can play, she can play. And I'm like you, John. I heard some people say it was just hype the Vanderbilt program up, trying to. Mason done it to maybe get a little heat off him. Well, it didn't work.
He's gone.
He's gone, so that didn't work. But I don't. There's a lot of girls that play football today, and some girls play high school football.
That's true.
So if she's capable and she can do the job,
right?
I don't really see I don't really see a big deal.
Here's my thing on it.
She's apparently an athlete.
Okay.
Yeah, a soccer goalie.
If she kicks off, I'm on the other team. We're coming and we're breaking one. She's the last line of defense, and I'm the lead blocker. I'm not going to plow her. I'm not going to hit her like I would a man.
Well, maybe not, but she's got a uniform on, and I think that's just part. That's just part of the risk. Listen, if you stand on the sideline at a football game, there's a possibility you'll get run over.
That's true.
Okay, so you go in the stands to keep from that happening.
Right.
So if she's going to put a uniform on with a helmet and shoulder pads on, then I think it's fair game. I'm not saying decleat her or something, illegal blocker. Or something.
Right.
But if it's a game. It's a football game.
Yes,
she has to know that there's a possibility that she could get caught.
Yes, she's the last line of
But
defense. Your kicker's your last guy.
I think it's something. Yeah, I think it's great. I'm glad it's the SEC that's had it happen to. Maybe not just at Vanderbilt, but it's all right.
Did you notice when she kicked off that as soon as she kicked it, it was a squib kick. It was a good kick. It was a design kick. but when she kicked it, she ran to the sidelines. She didn't.
Oh, she did? I didn't know
Well,
that.
I didn't pay attention to that. I did see the squeak. I didn't pay attention to where she ran to.
So she got off getting out of Dodge.
She's getting out of Dodge.
Yeah, I mean, she went towards the sideline, and when the kick wasn't going to be a return, I don't believe, it was a little squib kick. It was a good kick. It's what they wanted it to do. And also, I heard the other day, I think it was on the Sports Animal, they were talking, Derek Mason, head coach at Vanderbilt, got fired, and they're 0-7. But at halftime of that game against Missouri, they came in, and Sarah Fuller, she had some comments after the game where talking about the locker room was just, it's like, they said the team didn't care, like they didn't care, and had some other negative, just didn't look good for Mason. She didn't really call him out or anything, but just said the attitude and in the locker room was.
I've wondered how Mason has stayed the football coach at Vanderbilt anyway for the last couple of years. I thought he would have got fired maybe a couple of years ago. I mean, his only success really has been he has beat Tennessee. So is that kept his job for him, beating Tennessee? I mean, is that all it's took at Vanderbilt to beat Tennessee every now and then? And he has beat Tennessee, I think, 2 out of 3 times maybe, or something like that.
He won't get an opportunity.
He won't get an opportunity this time to do it. But.
Been a long line of Vanderbilt coaches come and go over the years.
What do you think about the rumor, guys, that's going around about Michigan and Ohio State? Ohio State plays Michigan, not this Saturday, but next Saturday.
They play Michigan State this Saturday.
They play Michigan State this Saturday. But next week they play Michigan. There's a talk that Michigan might not play that game. If Michigan doesn't play that game and Ohio State doesn't play that game, they'll not qualify for the championship game because they will have not played 6 games.
And they also said...
Is that a rule?
That's a rule. That's a rule they put in for this year. You have to play 6 games.
Is that a Big Ten rule?
It's a Big Ten rule.
And I'm telling you
the last game. That's the last game of the year. And Michigan could keep them out of the championship, and that could possibly knock them out of the playoffs.
I disagree wholeheartedly. If they go 5-0, the Big Ten will change their stance on requiring a 6th game to be in the Big Ten.
Can't change in the middle of the year.
Guarantee you they will. Ohio State will play for the Big Ten championship to get that 6th game to get them in the playoffs. If Michigan,
they talked about that on the
they will change
college show the other night there. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess when they did the top 25, they was talking about it where I heard it. So I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
I agree, but I'm telling you, the Big Ten will change the rule.
We'll see.
Ohio State could get jumped, though. I mean, if you only play 6 games, right now I think the Buckeyes are number 4. That's not a lot of sample size anyway.
I don't think they deserve to be number 4 right now, John. I'm sort of like you. I don't know if that's what you mean by not being number 4, but I don't think they should be number 4. I think the problem is the committee don't want to put another SEC team in there right now and have 2 SEC teams in there and
2 ACC
teams in there. So I don't,
If Florida wins out and beats Alabama, it'll be Florida, Texas A&M, Notre Dame, and Clemson if everybody wins out.
Possibility.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take our first break. Give us a call. We'll be here for another 30 minutes or so. We'd like to hear from you. So give us a call. You're watching the Locker Room Chat.
Rome Metals Group has been serving East Tennessee for decades. Locally owned and operated with convenient hours of operation. Rome Metals buys all types of scrap metal. Nothing's too big or too small. Still have that clunker sitting around? We've been buying them for years. Rome Metals Group are specialists in industrial scrap. We have what it takes to get any size job done. Rome Metals urges you to recycle responsibly. Scrap with only licensed dealers. A member of the TSRA and the ISRI. Rome Metals Group. Turn that scrap into cash.
Muncie Pharmacy is your locally owned hometown pharmacy. They accept most insurances, so why go to the large chain pharmacies when you get better customer service at Muncie Pharmacy? Have a special prescription that needs compounding? Muncie Pharmacy can handle those needs as well. Muncie Pharmacy has a drive-thru for your convenience and offers free delivery in the Oak Ridge area. And don't forget the gifts that we have available for all occasions.
Here at Muncie Pharmacy, we take the time to know you and treat you like family.
At Earl F. Subaru, providing exceptional customer service is what we do best. and we've got the awards to prove it.
We've been recognized as Tennessee's only 9-time winner of the Love Promise Customer Commitment Award. And again this year, we also earned the Love Promise Community Commitment Award given for enhancing the areas we serve. At Earl Duff Subaru, we're more than just a car lot. We're a retailer you can love and one that gives back to local causes. Check out our reviews that come to Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman.
Take I-40 to exit 347 in Harriman, or check all our specials at duffsubaru.com.
OEB Law is excited to be a part of this year's football season. School spirit is at an all-time high. OEB Law is proud to give back and support our community. Come cheer on these great teams with us. And remember, if you've been injured or need legal help, OEB Law will be there for you. So visit wreckintoacheck.com or give us a call, 865-546-1111, and let OEB Law turn your wreck into a check.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the diamond.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood is your gift destination. Shop the new plush selection for that special someone. We have Bath & Body Works popular fragrances and custom gift baskets too. Live and Let Live has a wide selection of gift and home decor for any occasion, from yard flags to selected jewelry plus much more. We have Big Orange giftware always available year-round. And don't forget to enjoy a soda fountain treat while you shop. Live and Let Live Drugstore, Gift Shop, and Soda Fountain in downtown Rockwood.
Welcome back into the locker room chat. John Williams here with Eric Oakes and David Queener. Phone lines are open. Give us a call. And guys, high school football, we're in the state finals, but it's also high school basketball has started here in the last couple of weeks. Got some scores to run down. In girls basketball last night, Central defeated Anderson County 67-53. Anderson County boys are they're off right now for contact tracing. I believe they're going to pick it back up about December the 9th. But Anderson County and Clinton girls will play this Friday night at Anderson County, 7:30, I believe, so that'll be a good one there. Clinton girls, they lost over the weekend to Farragut and Jeff County, and also they lost last night to Carnes, 74-69. Lady Dragons are really ain't had their full team yet. They've had players out. Injuries and sickness and things like that. But they're off to a 2-5 start. So
I heard the Burton girl had 28 last night, but somebody on Carnes had 40. 40
that was one of the girls for Carnes had 30.
Was it 30 something?
31.
31. I think the Burton girl had 28 maybe.
32, I was told.
Okay.
Yeah,
a little shorter, ain't
he? She was recognized last night for setting the school record for most points in a game, 43, and also she went over 1,000, which we talked about last week. But Carnes, they're a little bit improved this year. They've been down for a while, but they've got a good young team, some good players coming up. Some other scores in the area for the girls. There's not many games locally I could find here lately, but Harriman girls defeated Ray County. That's a big win there, 58-56. Oak Ridge girls over Kingston. Also, Oak Ridge defeated Halls last night in the girls.
Oak Ridge got a famous head coach, don't she? Played over at UT or something?
Played at Vanderbilt, I think.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Hey, what about the Garner kid? I think last week you told me what he had done. Now, since then, he's popped in 54.
Well, they went back and watched the film, and they said he had 55.
So he had 55.
He had 55 points last Saturday night against Gatlinburg Pittman. He ended up his stat line. He was 10 of 13 on three-pointers, and the 10 made threes tied his own record that he set last year. And from the free throw line, I believe he was 19 of 21, something like that. He had a phenomenal performance. But Gatlinburg-Pittman has a really good team. That was a good win. I think it was GP's first game, and they have a pretty solid team. Looking at some more girls' scores, Midway, they lost by 1 point to Sweetwater. Oliver Springs lost to William Blunt. Oakdale lost to Tellico Plains, and Rockwood lost to Greenback. Sunbright lost to Oneida, and Wartburg lost by 1 to Scott. So, and you look, the only girls team besides Oak Ridge, and Harriman is winning. It's Cofield. They played last night, didn't get a score on that, but they defeated Anderson County and Jellicoe, so they're off to a pretty good start, Lady Yellow Jackets. On the boys' side, as we mentioned, Clinton over at Gatlinburg-Pittman defeated Carnes last night by 2. Clinton they had a 12-point lead with a couple minutes to go and ended up about lost it. Carnes did came back to tie it, and Gardner hit 2 free throws with about a couple seconds to go. And Carnes had a desperation shot, but wouldn't go down. Oak Ridge, let's see, Harriman. Harriman is over Ray County. I think that game was a game that was last week. Oak Ridge, their Oak Ridge team to beat, I think, in the district. They still got players playing football, but they got a big win over Morristown East. And I saw where Morristown East, they defeated Maryville and Catholic. That's 2 pretty good teams. And Oak Ridge beat them without, a couple of their starters, Preston Turner and Jonathan Stewart. Also,
to get some wins like that before the football season's over. I mean, I'm sure you're probably missing a couple of your best athletes.
Yeah, and of course Maryville, they've had some players out too for football. They're getting them back, but Oak Ridge also defeated Pigeon Forge, and then last night they put up 100 on Halls. They won 100-64.
Wow.
Rockwood defeated the Greenback. Oliver Springs lost to Halls as well earlier in the week. Tellico Plains over Oakdale. Sunbright lost by 2 to Oneida. Sunbright's got a pretty good team this year. Coach James Jones used to be at Clinton Middle. They've lost about 3 games by 1 or 2 points. That's a team they win. I think they went to the region semis last year. That was Sunbright. McMinn Central over Midway. Jellicoe over Cofield, and Scott County over Wartburg. So that's a few of the scores. Anybody else got any scores out there, call in. But let's look back at the games last week. It was South Pitt 42-0 over Cofield. Eric, what's your opinion on that?
Oh, well, Cofield graduates 3 starters. So we should be good again next year. Maybe they'll lose a bunch. And
3 starters that all?
Yeah, and maybe they won't get no more Marion County kids in there.
Who's the 3 starters?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
I know Seth. Seth's gone.
Seth
Lau.
Yeah, Seth Lau is gone.
I'm not sure if Landon's a senior or not. He might be. And we got one more. I think that's right. I think we got 3 seniors.
You had in AA locally, Meigs County 16-13 over Truesdale County.
Trousdale, that's not a place you want to go play.
Was that Truesdale or Trousdale?
Trousdale is what I've always called it.
That's me too, yeah. That was a 3-point game. You had Alcoa 42-7 over Red Bank. No surprise there.
No.
And Meigs County, buddy, they beat South Pitt in the regular season. That's the only blood in South Pitt's record. Meigs County.
Well, everybody thought Meigs County be down this year. Wrong answer. They're good. They're good. I thought, everybody thought when they lost their quarterback that they'd be down. But, hey, I just wonder about Maryville, guys. Do you think their run might be, they're not playing, they're out. Oakland's beat them. And Oakland's beat them.
Smoked them.
Beat them a couple times in the last, not when it really counted, but you think Maryville's run, I think all runs come to an end.
Right.
I mean, look at the Yukon girls few way back. Had a long run. Now they're another team. They're still a contender. Is Maryville's run over as far as dominating high school football in 6A? Is it over around here, or is it just overall on the state side, or was that just the 1 year for them to lose?
I think that
John don't want to answer the question.
I think that as long as the economy is doing good in Maryville and people are moving to Maryville, the football team's going to be good. I mean,
yeah, but
that goes hand in hand.
But don't you think though that eventually the run with Maryville and Alcoa both has to come to an end sometime?
No,
you don't think so?
Not Alcoa anyway.
Okay.
It's more likely that I think it's more likely that Maryville's on the downhill slide than it is Alcoa.
Well, I told John last week, Oakland was favored by just about everybody, and I told him, until somebody beats Maryville, I will go with Maryville every time in Alcoa. But I just wonder maybe if Maryville has hit the point where they're going to come back with the rest of the pack now and play with the rest of the pack.
You think they've lost some of that intimidation factor?
Maybe they have, because apparently Oakland's not intimidated by them one bit.
Right.
I mean, you're right. They put it on them down there.
What was it, 49-7?
Yeah, 40 something to 7, I think.
Yeah,
they put a whooping on them.
That was their 7th consecutive meeting in the Class 6A semifinals. Oakland and Maryville. Maryville won last year. I think the year before that, Oakland put it on them too. I forgot that, but if you don't, Oakland or Maryville don't get beat like that.
But I think going into halftime with Alcoa and Red Bank is 14-13.
That was the week before.
Is that the week before?
That was Gatlinburg.
That Gatlinburg Pitt was 14-13. I thought it was close this week too with them, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe I'm back a week, but I've got my mind mixed up. But Alcoa, it's something else. I mean,
it's a machine.
It's a machine. They just keep playing up. I think they can win it in 6A. They beat 6A school teams this year. So.
Yeah, Alcoa, they're making their 8th straight state championship appearance, and they're going for their 6th straight state championship Friday night or Friday afternoon.
I just wonder, as a coach, guys, how much pressure's on Rankin. Because, the community gets used to doing that. I wonder how much pressure's on him. Or if he's under a lot of pressure or none.
I'd say none.
You think he's under none?
None. He's got full community support. I guarantee you there ain't nobody calling for his head.
No, there ain't nobody calling for his head.
And, I mean, he can run any play he wants to run. He can run any defense he wants to run. He ain't got to worry about nobody second-guessing him because he's successful.
That's true.
And as long as he continues to be successful, he can sit in his recliner and relax.
That's what I go back to the Oak Ridge thing and say. There's a lot of people when Oak Ridge was 2-3 was writing them off. And if people in Oak Ridge would admit it, there'd be some of them that was doing that. And probably some people that called for Coach Gaddis's head during that time, being 2-3.
Yeah,
it wasn't acceptable football in Oak Ridge.
I heard some grumbling, when they were 2-3. Yeah,
right. So
and even last year, I heard
there was grumbling, right? So, but he's turned. He got that turned around. So I think there's pressure on some of these high school coaches. I don't think we really realize it sometimes how much pressure's on them.
I'm happy for Coach Gaddis to make it back to the championship and just to get Oak Ridge back. That's a rich tradition school, and
well, he's a good football coach.
Right.
He wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame if he wasn't. And I forgot to ask him now. He didn't give me my ticket to get on the bus, man. I'm supposed to be riding the bus with him.
Hey.
I forgot to ask him now. Coach, if you're watching, you need to send me my ticket. Where'd I come get on the bus that Friday? Because I'm supposed to be riding in the front seat.
Well, we're going to get some more McMinn County action going on up here. You can roll in on the bus.
Yeah.
The football team.
We've been talking about that for years.
Yeah, they're talking about going on the bus with Oak Ridge for years now. I had a guy that called me a couple of weeks ago, and he invited me to come to Oak Ridge this past Friday night as his guest. And then after he's on TV, he called and said, I know you're not going to come, but you're just going to watch it on TV. And I said, yeah, you're exactly right. But, Coach Gaddis, he needs to come through. I've been his only supporter around here. I've been on his bandwagon all year long. Now I need to be on that bus.
Oh. Well, now, hey, I've had an invitation to go to watch the South Pitt game with a guy named Rodney that calls in on those college shows that me and Sleepy listen to. And he said, I'll treat you first class. Come on down. He said, you can even wear your orange and black.
Yeah. That's South Pitt colors.
Yeah,
Orange
yeah.
and black.
It's Cofield colors too.
But Elizabethan, 4A, they are going back to the state championship. They won it last year. They defeated Nolensville pretty handily, 56-21. That was a rematch of last year. So the Cyclones, probably prohibitive favorite going in. We'll look at that here in a little bit in their matchup. As we talked about Oak Ridge and South Doyle, but what a play that was. Mitchell Gibbons, he took off on that run. I think it was a design play. They flooded everybody to the right, and there was the biggest hole. He just took off and made it all the way 37-yard touchdown that put him up by 2 scores.
Yep. Which was the backbreaker.
Yeah, that sealed the deal Friday night for Oak Ridge. Guys, I still say you got to give Oak Ridge coaching staff a pat on the back because I think they've done, since the 2 and 3 thing, they've done a really good job of that football team.
Hey, from what I gather, Summit's pretty much a 2-man show down there. So if they can control 2 guys, they can keep it competitive. But those 2 guys are both Division I guys, so I mean they're liable to go crazy.
And you come in about the same time I did. Did Coach Gaddis say both of those guys are D1s and Tennessee's offered both?
Both. That's what he said.
One's a quarterback, one's a linebacker.
And then they're twins.
And they're twins.
Yeah.
Yes. Pretty good. I mean, they're back in the final. This is their second year. They were in it last year against Central.
So they're not going to be shell-shocked by the environment either. So, I mean, yeah, because Central, of course, beat them, but they're going to be probably more comfortable the second time around.
I don't think Oak Ridge will be shell-shocked neither. I think Oak Ridge, because they're used to playing in front of pretty good crowds, it's rich tradition program people. I mean, the kids know what it is, so I don't think Oak Ridge will be shell-shocked any. I think Oak Ridge will go play good football. I think Oak Ridge wins by 3.
Well, let's go ahead and take another break, and we'll be right back, and we'll make some predictions on the state championship games and also talk a little bit about the Tennessee and Florida Gator matchup.
Football is back. And OAB Law is excited for a season full of big hits, perfect plays, and those nail-biting near misses. If you've been injured, OAB Law will come to your defense and tackle any obstacles blocking you from scoring a full and fair settlement. Call OAB Law 865-546-1111 and turn your wreck into a check.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 110,000 participants here in Tennessee who take part in high school sports.
Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood is the premier pharmacy service location. Let our professional staff help with all your pharmacy needs, answer your questions, or help with your medication management with our Medicine on Time packaging system. We also offer medication therapy management to ensure you're receiving maximum benefits from your medication. Diabetes care is available with one-on-one consultations, or you can attend one of our monthly diabetes information classes. Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood.
We treat you like family at RMG. Bring your junk, cars, aluminum cans. We'll buy it on the spot and we'll pay you a lot. We treat you like family at RMG. Yeah, we treat you like family at RMG. We treat you like family.
Rome Metals is located just off of Highway 27 between Harriman and Rockwood.
At Earl F. Subaru, providing exceptional customer service is what we do best, and we've got the awards to prove it. We've been recognized as Tennessee's only 9-time winner of the Love Promise Customer Commitment Award. And again this year, we also earned the Love Promise Community Commitment Award given for enhancing the areas we serve. At Earl F. Subaru, we're more than just a car lot. We're a retailer you can love and one that gives back to local causes. Check out our reviews that come to Earl F. Subaru in Harriman.
Take I-40 to exit 347 in Harriman, or check all our specials at duffsubaru.com.
Muncie Pharmacy is your locally owned hometown pharmacy. They accept most insurances, so why go to the large chain pharmacies when you get better customer service at Muncie Pharmacy? Have a special prescription that needs compounding? Muncie Pharmacy can handle those needs as well. Muncie Pharmacy has a drive-through for your convenience and offers free delivery in the Oak Ridge area. And don't forget the gifts that we have available for all occasions.
Here at Muncie Pharmacy, we take the time to know you and treat you like family.
Welcome back to the locker room chat. And it's Tennessee, Florida week in December. And it's a matchup that a lot of ball fans have been wanting to happen for a long time. They wanted that Tennessee, Florida game moved to December, right, David?
That's what they say.
We've always wanted it, instead of playing the first of the year.
Why is that, do you think? Because it
cold.
Get into cold weather?
Yeah, that, and it's a really important game. Normally Tennessee and Florida is the first SEC game of the year, and a lot of those years back in the 90s, that was probably the best two teams in the East there for a while, and they wanted it pushed back, but SEC wouldn't do it. I think Florida plays Florida State late in Miami. They didn't want to push that game back, but for the 0-1 game did for the 9/11. It was pushed back to December. And it's sort of ironic, Tennessee was 18-point underdog in that game.
I don't want to talk about that.
And they're 18-point underdog in this game.
I know. And they went in and beat us, 33-32, wasn't it?
It was a great game.
They missed a 2-point conversion there to win it.
Guys, I hate to pick against Tennessee, or I hate to pick them, but I don't really think I don't think they have a chance. I shouldn't say they don't have a chance. Everybody's got a chance.
Right.
I just think Florida's offense is clicking too well.
That's the only way we win is if we outscore them, because we ain't going to stop them. Tennessee's going to score some points Saturday.
I'll have to see that to believe it.
I think they'll get in the upper 20s, possibly 30s.
I'll have to see that to believe it.
And we might get in the 60s.
I'll have to see that to believe that also. That could be possible, but I'm not saying. But I don't know. It's not Tennessee's year.
Right, with Garantano at quarterback, I think a lot of our offensive points they say it's capped at about 24.
Is he going to come back and play another year next year? He's got another year of eligibility now.
John looked at me and I looked at John. I hope he does. I don't know what John's thinking, but I hope he doesn't.
Well, he'll have another year of eligibility if he wants
I don't see how they can bring him back. I don't see how they can.
I don't think he'll be back.
He needs to do that senior thing and go on and go play someplace else for another year.
He could pull a Nathan Peterman and go to Pitt and go to the NFL.
That's true. You're right about that.
Now, Florida, what are they ranked?
6.
They're 6 in the poll, and who's 5? A&M. Since they won.
Yep.
That's two teams Tennessee still got on the schedule: Florida and Texas A&M and Vanderbilt. So I don't think A&M's that good though, guys. I'm not really impressed with them.
We threw an interception late, gave up a field goal with time to expire, and you can't turn the ball over and we expect to win football games.
They really come on. They lost to, who'd they lose to? Alabama?
Mm-hmm.
And they beat Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Did they lose to Alabama before they played Florida?
I think so.
Seemed like they lost early.
Yeah, I think they did.
Yeah, they lost early, because I don't think they've lost a game since.
Right.
Well, they haven't lost a game since the Florida game, because they would have dropped in the poll.
They would have dropped in the poll.
Yeah.
Guys, I won't be surprised if Tennessee doesn't go 0-3 with the last 3 games. Crazy Vanderbilt. I won't be surprised if Vanderbilt don't beat.
Well, it won't be Jeremy Pruitt's head that rolls. It'll be Jim Chambers.
Sarah Fuller might kick a field goal to beat Tennessee.
Ooh, that'd be something, wouldn't it?
And then
that'd be a story for our grandkids.
Yeah,
Pruitt probably would get fired in.
Yeah, he probably would if that happens.
Yeah. But
let's go ahead and look at the state championship games, guys. It's week 15. We're here, and let's look at some of these matchups. South Pittsburgh 13-1 playing Fayetteville 12-2. The 1A, 3A, and 5 games are on Friday, so this will be the first game. I think it's early afternoon Friday. Fayetteville, they defeated Lake County last week, and they were the defending state champions. And Fayetteville's making their first appearance in the state championship. South Pittsburgh's going for their 6th state championship. So Fayetteville's they got some good players, I'm sure. I was reading about them.
I don't see any way a single A football team stops that South Pittsburgh football team.
I'm South Pitt. I don't have to know anything about Fayetteville.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick South Pitt.
I'm gonna pick South
just
Pitt,
because
too.
of the name South Pitt. I'm gonna go with her.
They got a running back. He's probably over 1,400 yards now. And anyway, you're right. It's hard to pick against South Pitt, so I think that'll be a competitive game. I think just with Fayetteville beating Lake County, so look for a good game.
That was their state championship game.
Right.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
Now 2A, Meigs County and Peabody. Now this is a rematch of last year. Peabody defeated Meigs County. I'd have to look up the score here in a second, but Peabody, you know their nickname?
I don't
Anyone of y'all know their nickname? They are the Golden Tide.
The Golden Tide.
Not the Crimson Tide, but the Golden Tide. They've won the state the last 2 years, and they have the state's longest winning streak. They've won 36 in a row.
Well, I'm going out on a limb and taking Meigs County to beat them.
I'm gonna take Peabody.
Right, I'm taking Peabody as well. I think Coach Gaddis, he coached a year at Peabody.
He might have.
He did. I think he did before he went to Henry County when he come back from coaching in Mississippi, I believe. Or anyway, it should be, I'll take Peabody there. But Alcoa at Milan in 3A. Alcoa's 13-1. Milan is 11-1.
Alcoa.
All the way, baby. From Tornadoes.
Alcoa all the way, you say. Go ahead and talk a little bit about the Tornadoes there. Eric, let me look this score up.
They've been so dominant. They're the Maryville of 3A football.
Well, what's the good thing about Alcoa is they're really good on defense and they're really good on offense.
Yes.
So they're all the way around. It's just a good football team, and it's a well-coached football team, guys. Here's how you know Here's how you know something about that football team. That coaching staff has been together for a while, and they've not left, and they've hung in there. And I think that makes the difference in the football game is Alcoa's coaching staff.
And that makes a difference in the young kids coming up.
That's exactly right.
Because they look forward to playing for that. That's what they were looking forward to.
All the way.
Reading about Milan, they have a player, he does it all. He's a junior, Anthony Brown. He's passed for 250 yards, ran for about 1,000, and he's thrown 8 touchdowns. So,
well, you'll have to have an exceptional game.
And 300 yards receiving. Right. Elizabethan at Haywood. Haywood has only played, I think, 9 games. They're a little bit of an unknown. They only played 8 games on the field, or 9 now, but they're going up against Elizabethan. I think Elizabethan behind Bryson Rollins, state Mr. Football finalist.
I'm with Elizabethan.
And they put Greenville out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't see anybody beating them if they beat Greenville.
Oak Ridge at Summit. I got to go with, as we mentioned off the air, the defense wins championship. I'm going to go with the Wildcats.
I'm going with Wildcats, too.
I don't want my windows beat out of my house, so I'm picking Oak Ridge, too.
And Summit made the state finals last year. They lost to Central. So they're back 13-1. So roll Wildcats, roll. And then Oakland's at Brentwood. This is a rematch of a game that was played this season. Oakland won 37-0 over Brentwood. However, Brentwood features 2 of the state's top 20 prospects.
I'm going to take Oakland.
Nah, me too. I mean, you put Maryville out. I mean, that's
Right.
You got to be.
Yeah.
Oakland. You've done something.
Then on the private side, there's Davidson. That's Ron Berry, where his grandson's out. I'll take Davidson. I think Davidson will win, but he said they move up in that private side division. That could be over with for them after that.
You know, we got 9 divisions that play for state.
Yeah, I understand that.
Davidson.
9 of them.
So good luck to Ron Berry's grandson, Davidson.
Yeah. Congratulations, Gabby Lau, scoring 29 points the other night against Lenore City. That was impressive.
Should have mentioned that earlier.
I just thought about it.
All right, we got to go. Appreciate everyone watching. We'll see you next week on the Locker room chat.
Go Gators.